There's three things we want to talk about here today, and it's perfect marketing strategy. Right? We've got to have a strategy if we're going to guide the content. Again, you can't just go out, it's like I'm going to create some articles, I'm going to do some videos. There's got to be a strategy behind it, or there's no purpose. From there, how do you create convincing content? And then how do you make money with it? That's the most important thing at the end of the day. If you're going to spend time on it, you want to make a little money. So we'll go through this. I don't think I'll take the whole 45. Plenty of time for questions. Whatever you guys need, you can interact with me. Let me know. You can jump right in with this stuff. Pretty casual as we go through this. So first, there's three pieces to a strategy when we look at marketing. So we call it core offer, and that's what you do. That's what you're best at. That's how you deliver the results and the service to your clients. Right? Then there is your ideal client, or your perfect prospect, and then you're going to have your local market positioning. So we have to start with what's your core offer. The reason that you want to start with this, and what the hell does this have to do with content, right, is where am I trying to get somebody? What's the end goal? So if you don't start with my core offer, if I don't know what am I going to sell this person, it's a lot like creating a training program with zero goal in mind, with just I'm going to get in shape. It's not going to work very well. You might end up there, you might not. So there's really three steps to get clear on this, and this is where a lot of fitness business owners, fitness professionals, independent trainers, they go wrong, is they try to do everything for everybody. They don't have one focus that they can be known for, right? And so you kind of run around and you do the boot camp thing. You know, I do this smorgasbord of training with semi-private, one-on-one. I do everything in between. And I'm not saying that you can't have a lot of offerings, but you need to have one that's the core of your business, the thing that you can absolutely be known best for. So, three questions we can look at with this, and it's how do you best get results? Like, what medium, what method do you best get results in? So that could be things like one-on-one training, right? Or do I do that in a semi-private training or a group training format? You probably get good results with everything, right? But how do you get the best possible results? Can you serve your clients best with this? And then can it be the driver for your business, like economic driver for the long-term strategy? Because if you have this and say, oh, I just want to do one-on-one training, that's how I get best results, then we have to run it through the filter. Are there enough clients? Can I charge enough? Can I scale this to where I can bring on other trainers? Or can I do this and live the life that I want and still make the income that I want without having to burn myself out? And it's not to say that one is better than the other. You just got to pick one of these, and it's got to pass all of these tests. Once we know that, then you break it down into certain levels, and there's two more levels that we go into this, and this is required, right? You got to know am I one-on-one, semi-private, small group, large group. It's kind of the categories we would look at. From there, we look at the niche, like what's your target market. So now we get into it's sports performance, it's strength, it's movement, it's fat loss, it's youth, it's boomers, it's whatever you might be. Then this is like the trifecta, right? This is the secret sauce. If you can get to the marketability factor, and that's where you have a name that really resonates with something, or what you call your program stands out and it's appealing to them, so it's like very attractive to this. We have several coaching clients that we work with that use like an acronym for their training programs. And it stands for something that appeals to the outcome or the end result that their client wants. Marketability is not required for this, but it's really, really, it's a big mover, right? It's like one of those big levers that if you have it, it can change everything because it appeals to your clients, right? It's an easy way to communicate, this is exactly what I do, plus it helps you stand out. So the marketability factor relies on the positioning that you have as well as your ideal clients. Those are kind of the three layers. This stuff is not all what you're here for. This is really important, this perfect prospect profile. So how many of you have an ideal client, an ideal client profile? Anyone? Like you know exactly who you should be targeting. Jessica should, I hope. Jessica's in our program. I'm cheating here. Okay, so like target market isn't good enough. Because if I just look at, well, I train guys that are 35 to 50 and want to lose a little weight or that want to get stronger, I have this really big wide net. And have you ever heard the term aim small, miss small? So, the tactical stuff, you guys have probably heard that, right? the whole idea behind this is if I have a message and I'm trying to really speak to one particular client, I avoid trying to cast this really wide net and talking to a general audience. And then what happens is if I cast that wide net, I usually miss the mark by quite a bit because it doesn't really resonate with anyone. It just kind of brushes the surface. But when I have one message that's really strong, the funny thing that happens is I hit that person like right in the heart or it's in the gut now, like that's me. And all of a sudden, all the people around them, like the 2 or 3 degrees around them, are attracted to that as well, and they appeal to that as well. So you might have multiple perfect prospect profiles or prospect profiles. Right? You have one that's your ideal client, and then we would go into this and we say well, maybe there's like I have a male and a female version of this. So you don't have to just have one. But if we look at this, and I'll start at the top left and go clockwise around. What we're trying to do here is you want to get in the head of your client. You want to know what keeps them up at night, what are they worried about, what emotions do they have, what are their real goals, what are they really motivated with. And so as we go down the middle here, and this is actually one of our perfect prospects picture in the middle. So I have a picture because I want to be able to look at this when I'm creating content. So when I get stuck on an idea, what do I write? What do I film about? What am I going to post on Instagram today? I'm going to do this video. What are we going to do? And I go to our profile and I go to some section of this and think, what do I have here? How can I add value? How can I solve one of these problems? How am I going to talk about one of these things in a way that this is Jason Ryder. It was a totally fictional person. I think I just Googled like personal trainer and a guy came up and that looks like a Jason Ryder. And I have all the middle stuff, the demographics filled out. So Jason Ryder, 32 years old, male, married, 2 kids. Right, he's got a 3-year-old, a 2-year-old. He lives in Massachusetts. He has a studio, so he's a business owner. He lives in a nice, small, nice little neighborhood, 2-story house. We have all of this stuff drilled in, how much money he makes, what his income is, all those things. So I built out the demographic. And then I go through and think, what are Jason's goals? What does he need to have for business? So when you think about this, you put your picture there and it brings that person to life, right? So now I'm thinking about actually speaking to this person when I'm writing. And so now I can have a conversation with this person and I can talk about the things that matter most to them. So this is a big mistake that a lot of people make. They write content about stuff that matters to them, not who they're writing for. And they don't talk to that person in their writing, whether they're videos or social media or whatever it might be. So look and say, all right, what are the goals? You need to know what goals they have. And it can be the basic, like general, I need to lose 20 pounds or whatever it might be, maybe get out of pain, or you can get deeper into that. But you also then want to look at what do they value? What are their personal values? What do they value in a relationship with the business, with you? What do they value in their life overall? Because you want that to resonate. Because if you train clients in person, you have this culture, right, in your business. And you are the foundation for that culture, but all the people that are in the business also make that culture come to life. So if you attract a lot of people that are not like you, don't share your same values, your culture will then start to replicate, be like them, right? That's where you see gyms that have this, like all of a sudden the culture has got away from them and it kind of degrades, and it's because they bring in these people that don't have the values. So you've got to know the values are going to align. So goals are great because now I know here's the outcomes I need to help this person achieve, but now I need to look at, this is the mover, is challenges and pain points. I've got to know what challenges do they have. And get past the just like don't know how to exercise these. Think about the like deep emotional stuff. What are the big challenges that they have in their life that are keeping them from reaching their goals right now? What are the obstacles? And then the pain points are, what are they really feeling? Like they want to lose weight because it's not just because they want to look better. It's usually there's like confidence, there's these emotional words. You want to think about like what's causing them pain, what keeps them up at night, what causes them anxiety, what makes them angry, anxious, any of this. And if you can drill into that, now you've got a ton of topics. Right? So challenges, how do you overcome all these things? That's an article, a video in and of themselves. The pain points, you talk about that. in there. So like, oh, they really understand me. Now people think that's empathy, right? I understand where they're at. Next is objections and fears. So how do I overcome these objections with people in my marketing? Well, I have to know what they are, and if I do that, I can talk about this stuff in my content, in my videos, and I can overcome it before it ever becomes a problem. So I just overcome those objections. So what would keep them from ever starting with you? What would keep them from starting their workout? What would keep them from initiating this nutrition change or a diet change? And then what are their fears? What's that thing, the little voice in the back of their head that keeps them from saying, oh, just jump right into this. Like, oh, I'm going to look like an idiot when I go to this class. Or I don't know about like contacting this trainer. They're going to think that I'm not very good, or whatever it might be. Right? What are their fears, their insecurities? You've got to understand that. And finally, where can I find them? So this is a big one. People go, well, where do I post my stuff? What social media accounts? Where do I market? Well, figure out where they spend their time and money, and you've got that figured out. Right? So that's where IFM is great, because they cultivate this audience for you, give you a platform to then share your content. So if I am a trainer in Indianapolis, I'm putting that on there in one of the websites or social media, IFM, that's where I'm going to go. So you guys are the smart ones. Right? So think about, what organizations do they belong to? What charities? What businesses do they go to? And you've got to think outside of just the health and fitness world. So many people think with this, oh, other chiropractors or physical therapists, or they think like supplement stores. Well, your clients also go to other places. And think about, where do they buy their clothes? Like, where do they get their hair cut? Where do they spend extra time and money? What things do they do for themselves that maybe you just don't think about, that are 1 or 2 degrees outside of the fitness world? Where the kids go to school, social media, and all that fun stuff. So if you build out this prospect profile, now I know how to market, what my message should be, what I can write about, and this just helps you get centered. Because I don't know if you experience this, I guess you do. If you create enough content, at some point, like, you just run out of ideas. Like, I don't know what to write, or you feel like you lose sight of it a little bit. So if I ever am really challenged with that, I go back to this and say, all right, what are the big pain points I have to address? What challenges should I address? From there, you look at local market positioning. So I'm very specific with the local piece, because I think everyone wants to go national. Like, how do I get this national exposure? Like, let's dominate your local market first. That's where you're going to make most of your money. So your local market positioning is basically telling your target market, telling this ideal client why they should choose you and why you're the better choice than the other trainers and the competition out there. So it's differentiators, it's buying criteria, and positioning statement. So you need to clearly be able to communicate why you're different. So we look at like 3 things that we want to do. So when we do this, you need to articulate why I'm different than everybody else. I have to address the key buying concerns that my customer has. And I've got to communicate that in a way that they understand it very, very clear. So differentiators, things that could be differentiators. What do you guys think those are? What could they be? You don't want to think, it's for your core offer. How so?
Like, say your core offer is more strength. Like, that's kind of what differentiates you from just like the overarching, like trying to do all different things.
I can see it where if you're in a place where everybody does group and you do one-on-one, like that's my differentiator too. Okay. It could be if, everybody does fat loss, I do strength, that's my differentiator. So things that can be differentiators. Awards. You talked about testimonials earlier. Good success stories, testimonials are great differentiators. So think about, what can you go stake claim to? The cool part about differentiators are, you're not looking for the one that helps you stand out. Right? You're not looking for like this one thing that makes me really unique and is going to appeal to everyone. What you're looking for is a combination of like 3 to 5 things that put together make you stand out. So the other part is, you just have to be the first person to be willing to say it for it to be a differentiator. For example, I had a competitor before that I I did a lot of weight loss stuff. That was a thing I did, and that was like my target market. This person started tallying up how many pounds they lost with their clients and all their challenges, and then eventually it became a big enough number that they started marketing it, and I was like, God damn, that was genius. Like, I missed the mark on that one, right? So now he was the gym that had, you know, this much, whatever the tally of weight loss was for their clients. That's a differentiator. Because everybody said, well, we help you lose weight, but not everyone can say, we've helped our clients lose 35,000 pounds or whatever it is, right? So think about what stats can you tally up? What's your average weight loss, or like what's your average result with a client in a certain period of time? So what statistics, what data do you have that you're confident putting out there and saying, this is what I do, this is how we do it? Another differentiator, do you have a unique way that you do things? So for you guys, it's more the strength, the strong men stuff, right? That's not very common in a gym. So that can be a differentiator. Is there a way that you deliver your results? Do you have a unique process for this? A way that people aren't talking about it? And for us, we have a process and a methodology for how we coach a business owner or how we coach a trainer to make more money. It's called the Fitness Business Alignment System. That's something that we have created, and it's built out of 5 principles. And so there's a whole process and a system with this that other people aren't teaching. It's not just that, well, here, we'll show you how to get more clients. Stats, awards, processes, and anything unique about you. Is there anything in your background? Right, so when I was training in Bloomington, I was also a former athlete at Indiana University, so I was an All-American, so that was easy, right? I want to train athletes, I'm an All-American. Great, not everybody can say that. So do you have any background with that? Now here's the key with these differentiators. Think about this. Every one that you think is out there at first, a lot of times it's going to be kind of boring and bland. Always run it through the filter of so that. And when you say, so it might say, this is typically what happens, right? Like we do assessments, and that's somebody's differentiator. Like 90% of the time, if I did coach somebody through it and they said, like, give me a list of differentiators, they say, oh, we do one-on-one assessments. Okay, well, everybody says that, so it's not different. So that. Why is that important to your customer? Why is that important to your clients? Then they'll say, well, it's so that I can create an individualized program. Okay, one more time, filter it. So that they can get results faster. Okay, now we can start to piece together this differentiator where we can explain what it is, right? So then you have to talk about like what's unique about it. You know, we do a customized assessment to make sure that we have identified the absolute, like the perfect workout program specifically designed for you so you get the fastest results possible. And now I'm speaking to that ideal client. Now I'm telling them why it's different. Buying criteria. You need to be able to address your buying criteria, your local market positioning, and your differentiators. So think about what your clients have to have. Like when you guys buy something, there's probably like boxes you have to check off, right, to buy it, to make it a good choice. So it might be distance from their home. It might be the type of facility. It might be like male or female trainer. You know, there's 100 different things it could be. So I had a client who was my accountant, and his wife was my optometrist, and we were really good friends in Bloomington. And they came to the gym, and it was awesome. And then life changed for them, and they had a baby. And all of a sudden, the drive across town, which now that I live here seems silly when it was like 15 minutes, that was too much for them at that point. So all of a sudden their buying criteria had changed, and I could not address that. Right, so you need to know your buying criteria because that helps you with your marketing as well. So things like, some people will always look for the most expensive things, some will always look for the cheapest. Some are going to look for, I want exclusive and private, and some want the community aspect of this. You have to really know what your buying criteria are, and then you want to be able to use that in your differentiators, and those should be all through your marketing. And finally, you want a really strong positioning statement. So your positioning statement, that's like your verbal calling card, right? So the really challenging part with this is usually people's like elevator pitch, unique selling proposition, whatever this might also be known as, it addresses you and what you are instead of who you help and how you help them. And so with the positioning statement, I want you, like, there's 3 pieces. It's who you help, it's what you help them accomplish, and then it's how you do that, and that's usually like your biggest unique differentiator. So it might be, and you get very specific. Like, I help new dads regain their non-dad body. So I think about me. Right? And I do it through this method. Right? So you get specific with that. You want to be able to communicate that, and it's just something that you, your team, anybody that say that, what do? You know, we coach fitness business owners. We help them make more money and get more out of their business through the fitness business alignment system. It's simple. It doesn't have to be super flashy. But now you don't like struggle to explain what you do, because if I know how that is, even as a trainer, you know, people are like, what do you do? And you try to explain it, and they don't understand, and they don't know, and they have these like weird images of personal trainers in their head, and it's bad. So you gotta get that positioning statement down. Now the good stuff. Right? So this is the buyer's journey. We had to get all that stuff out there because now I know how do I tell people what I do in my content in a really simple way. How can I make sure that I stand out with my content so your differentiators should appear throughout your content? And I've got to address my customers' concerns. Now there's these 3 pieces. So it starts with awareness, moves to discovery, and goes to decision. Nearly every buyer goes through this. So all of your target market are going to go through these stages. They go through at their own rate, at different paces. Everybody's a little different. Some people are ready to jump right to decision early on. Other people are going to like research everything across the board, right? So your job as a content producer and your marketing is to create content that addresses all of these things in different places. So awareness, that's where your prospect, they just start to kind of become aware that they're experiencing symptoms of a problem. So this would be like, my back's hurting. Well, I've gained like 50 pounds. Like, why is my back hurting? Or why am I always tired? Or why does this always hurt? Or whatever those challenges and problems are, this is where they experience the symptoms. And they have this problem, but they aren't really sure, like they know it needs to be fixed, but they're not really sure what's causing it. So they're researching information to understand the problem. So at this point, you're trying to address the problem, right? So great content, like marketing suggestions here. This is where blog posts come in handy. Ebooks, educational content, simple guides come in very handy here. And this awareness is things, you know, it's like top 10 reasons you have back pain, or you know, top 10 reasons you can't lose weight, or top 10 reasons for this. Right? You're thinking about, here's all these things that might be coming up about this. Next is discovery. In this stage, your prospect, they know what their problem is. Okay, I'm out of shape. Okay, gain this weight. And they're committed to now searching through, and now they're trying to figure out like who is the best choice. What's the best solution for this problem? So if I say, all right, I've got 20 pounds to lose, how can I do this? Well, I can do nothing. I can do Weight Watchers or Nutrisystem. I can just go to the gym and get a membership. I could do like Beachbody online. I could hire a trainer. So that they're trying to figure out all these solutions, right? What could I do? What's the best thing for me? And so in this discovery phase, this is where you blend in like case studies, right? So if you guys are creating content for this, you would like tell the case study story of how you helped one client get this result. Testimonials, doing workshops, emails, campaign, events come into this. But you can also do this through your just written content, video content as well, where you're talking more about a story, you're talking about the actual solution to this. So this would be like your core offer. Now, this is how I get these results. Here's some of the things that I do. So awareness is more about like, hey, you got this problem, right? here's this thing, and here's probably why you have it. Discovery is going to be, hey, here's how I can help you fix this. Okay? And then you go to decision, and in this stage, your prospect, they've looked at all the solutions, now they're ready to make a decision. And so this one is like, it's the call to action. This is the direct, like, let's do this, let's go to that. Success sessions, reviews. So that was really cool to hear you say, like, get reviews, get testimonials. You're right, that's word of mouth marketing online. So getting reviews. Just the direct call to action on decision-based topics. So, for example, like I have a ton of content out. So we create one blog, one video every week, minimum, consistent. And most of that's like the awareness discovery stuff. It's helping people get through those pieces. And there's downloads, and we've got email marketing that goes through this. Then I have like a cartoon explainer video. This is how we help people. Right? That's the decision phase of this. So it's, hey, if you've ever experienced this, here's what we do. And it goes through, and then it's, hey, let's just jump on the phone. Let's talk about, see if this is a good fit for us. And so you have to blend in all this content through your site, through the stuff you're doing with IFN, through your social media. You blend all of that through. Then you have to have a really good conversion strategy for this. And this is the piece where people are always afraid to tell people what to do next. So I think if you do three things, you take three things out of this. And I put write in here. If you're going to write articles, that's it. If you do a video, same thing, do it every day. You've got to create that time to just do more of it. That's how you get better at it. And you don't have to publish everything every day. But just get in the habit of writing. Block off 15 minutes, 10 minutes. Just start writing. See what comes out. There's a lot of times I write stuff and have to start back over. So you just have to get in that consistency. Second, have a call to action on everything. Don't put something out there that's just like, figure out what to do. All right. Call to action doesn't have to be buy. It could be download this, go to this article. It might be buy something, but you always want to give somebody, here's what you do next. Here's the very clear, it might be go follow me on social media. So examples of how this works. In a blog, I'd be embarrassed if you found a blog post on our site that didn't tell you what to do next. And that might be download this, buy this, something. But there's nothing there, because I don't know when somebody's going to land on that. And then what my call to action is dependent on where it falls in this. So awareness would be, I probably just need to capture that lead. Like, can I get their name and email? Can I get them on my email list? Can I get them to follow my profile on IFN? Discovery is going to be more like, let's take the next step. Like, all right, so I bought you a drink, let's go on a date, let's get married. So decision is the let's get there and let's make a purchase. But always have a call to action. Even in your Instagram stuff, even in your Facebook posts, social media. I'll go through stories. I'll do a series of videos on story and I'll talk about something like this. Right? I'll give some content. And then there's always a call to action. It might just be go follow this. It might be DM me if you need help. It's go to this site, hey, the link's in my profile. But I'm always telling people this is what you do next if you want a little bit more. Because the last thing you want is the person that wants to do more and they just aren't sure what to do. Most of the time they're just leaving. They're gone. And you got to drive traffic. So content's great, but it's only great if people see it. So you have a distinct advantage by working with Jeremy and IFN because they're driving the traffic for you. They're getting eyeballs on this for you, which is the hardest thing to do. But if you're going to use content as a marketing plan, you've got to figure out how many eyeballs on this thing.